Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our market SITREP report here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and looking at a near-death experience today. Big gap down at the open on the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow, and then kind of recovered some of the losses here. We're doing a little bit of a serpentine on the S&P 500 at least. But we knew this was going to happen, right? There's your gap down through 4150. Held 41.25 a little bit, and now resistance is 41.50. So the all clear hasn't sounded yet on this kind of tech wreck part 5 or whichever tech wreck we're in right now. Every one of these previous tech wrecks has been a buying opportunity, but we'll see. Every one of those past tech wrecks has been what? A touch on the 50-day moving average. Up here, we kind of did a little drill bit down to just north of 4100, but there's a potential a lot of room to fall here, folks, and we'll get into some of the specifics why. Well, actually, the best thing you can do is go register for next week for Full Throttle. Actually, it kicks off this Sunday night with kind of a welcome aboard brief. It's Sunday night. Market's not open. Kind of tell you who I am, my background, and what we do here at Top Gun Options. And then you get access to free 4 of them live trade briefs next week. And with everything that's going on in the market, you kind of want to attend these. Make sure you register, even if you can't attend, because I'll obviously give you access to the replays. All you need to do to register is head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT. That stands for Full Throttle, because hell exists, folks. I don't care what Jay Powell, Janet Yellen, or Joe Biden say. Hell exists. Inflation's here. The Fed is going to have to raise interest rates. The economy's overheating. But Jay, Janet, and Stumbling, Mumbling Joe are telling you that's not the case. Do you listen to people who drive in armored town cars and don't shop for themselves and live in the Beltway? Or do you talk to you who see prices going through the roof everywhere and help wanted signs? What an absolute national embarrassment we have going on. And I'll get to that in a second, because this just this picture right here says it all to me with what's going on. Biden proposes $2 trillion bill to study what's causing inflation rates to rise. We're going to spend $6 trillion for what? Before the scandemic hit, the China virus hit, the market was at record highs, unemployment was at record lows. It was the good old days. This thing was hitting on all cylinders. Why don't we just open the damn thing back up and let people get back to work? But that's not the Democrat game plan, right? How about on Friday, folks? Jobs report was a massive miss. People in government were stunned. Wow, why was this a massive miss? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when you pay people more to sit at home than to work, people sit at home. Where I'm from in Jersey and Philadelphia, this is called a bribe. Here comes the California governor, bankrupt, but let's triple spending on stimulus checks. How about, Gavin, you tell people to get back to work? I saw a great picture the other day. It said, "We issue weekly stimulus checks. See the manager inside." This is the Democratic game plan, folks, is to pay people to not work and sit on their hands. You want to talk about inflation going through the roof? A couple of years ago, I did consulting work for JBS. Second largest food company in the world, I believe it is. Largest food company down in Brazil, obviously. They were buying poultry, cattle. They were buying all sorts of food plants in America and Canada. And guess what's going on right now? Those people are sitting at home because they make more money sitting at home from the Democrats than they do pulling heads off of a chicken. And guess what happens? Ain't no chickens getting the restaurants. Restaurants don't get chickens. They raise the price on this. And oh, by the way, their workers aren't coming in. Inflation is exploding, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the Democrats' ultimate game plan. I think a Democrat congressman on the Sunday show kind of let the cat out of the bag when he's like, well, then this shows that they need to raise their wages and pay people a living wage. Last time I checked, flipping burgers at McDonald's is not it can be a career, but it's not. That's not what it was designed to be, right? So, folks, why am I rambling about all this stuff? And I love how people are like, can't stand when a guy talks about politics and trading. Are you high? Politics drives the markets, folks. The jobs report was a massive miss. And people in government are shocked to find out that, wait a minute, we're paying people. Well, here's what Joe Biden, mumbling, stumbling Joe, said the other day. He's like, well, we don't think there's a tie. We think people are scared to go back to work. I was just at the Panthers' last home game season last night. It was at 25% capacity. This weekend, when we're in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, they're going to 50%. If they go to Stanley Cup, they're opening the entire BB&T Center. If you're scared, that's your fault. Stay at home. If you're scared of a virus that has a 99 point whatever 7, so you have me at 99, folks. So Joe Biden using the excuse that people are afraid to go back to work, that's why they're staying at home, is a lie. I know for a fact. I got buddies that own restaurants in Fort Lauderdale. Their waiters and waitresses and busboys tell them, they're like, we're not coming back until this stuff ends. Why would I come back? I hear it, folks. Joe Biden doesn't hear it. When you live inside the White House, you don't talk to business owners. You don't talk to people who can't hire. Anybody except Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen, and Joe Biden, who drives around town here in God's waiting room in Boca, help wanted signs all over the place. Hell, there's even help wanted signs that say, or signs on doors of a couple places here that apologize for their crappy service because nobody wants to work and they're understaffed. But we don't see any correlation between that. Come on. Anyway, we're at war with a couple countries. It's just undeclared. I don't think we're going to have a yesterday, December 7th speech from a president for the rest of my life. I hope we don't. But at the end of the day, we are at war, folks. This hack the other day into our pipeline, the West Coast Energy, what? Gas stations closed or prices through the roof. Folks, this is economic warfare. What if whoever did this, Russia, what if Russia had physically attacked these tanks and blew them up? We'd be like, oh my God, that's an act of war. What about in the cyber war? Folks, I've always predicted that the first shot in a war with China or Russia won't be a shot. It'll be a keystroke. But I mean, and then here you go. Beijing tries to put its imprint on blockchain. Oh, super. China offers cheap server space, other enticements to spread its vision. Its vision of what? Taking over the world. Sure, start your blockchain company here in China, and then in a month we own it. Then we throw you in jail. You remember Jack Ma? One of the billionaires in the world owned his huge company in China. He disappeared for about 2 months. Now China owns his company. One of the world's richest man can get clipped by China. How safe do you feel? It's coming to the United States, folks. They're already conducting warfare in the United States. Cyber warfare. Online, too. All these bots that foment dissent and hate and dividing us. China and Russia, folks. But don't sleep well tonight, folks. Come on. Joe Biden and Monica Lewinsky with more ambition are in charge. Israel, Hamas, war, 300 rockets, people dying. Joe Biden's on the case. Stocks keep falling, led by tech. So again, folks, this is Tech Rec 5.0, 6.0. All these tech recs have been buying opportunities. I wouldn't today. You got to wait a little bit for the smoke to clear. But here's the main reason, folks. This inflation, I do not care what Jerome Powell says. He's lying. I don't care what Janet Yellen is saying. She's lying, and Joe Biden clearly is lying. This is not transitory inflation. Hyperinflation fears are soaring across America. And this is how you lose faith in government. When you have the government looking into the camera and lying to you, and they know they're lying. Janet Yellen, to her credit and failure last week, said what? The economy's doing really good. I think the Fed might have to raise interest rates eventually. That was the truth. Janet hopped in her town car, got a phone call from the White House, and they're like, no inflation. You need to walk that back. Later that afternoon, she walked that back. I've lost I declared it yesterday officially in our solo Amazon brief. Yesterday, I declared that the Federal Reserve and the Treasury have lost all credibility. I don't listen to an academic or a dude that sits in a building or a motorcade about inflation and jobs and stuff like that. They don't run a company. They have no P&L responsibility. They're not hiring. They're not here. They're there. And being up there gives you a different vantage point than what is going on the front lines. How about Kathy Woods at ARC? ditched a third of her Apple and bought back her own ETF. It's smart money, right? This is the smart money. Oh man, we're getting hammered. Let's dump our Apple and buy back our own ETF. But this was on the front page of the Drudge Report yesterday, folks. That's why I think the market really got spooked yesterday, is because we know that we're being lied to. Higher prices leave consumers feeling the pinch. So guess what happens under Joe and Kamala, folks? Everything's going up. Hell, Warren Buffett said it, Berkshire Hathaway 2 weekends ago. He's like, inflation's through the roof right now. The Fed is just lying to us. Higher prices do what, folks? You got to pull more out of your wallet or your pocketbook. Well, guess what's happening going forward? You're going to have less in your wallet and pocketbook because your taxes are going to go up. Joe Biden is lying when he says people under 400. It's actually two people making 200 apiece. But guess what happens when Amazon gets hit with a higher corporate tax? Do you think Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, is a charity? He isn't. He's a businessman. Businesses, when they get hammered with taxes, don't say to themselves, you know what? I'm just going to eat this higher tax. They don't. You pay it, I pay it. So raising tax stifles business investment and also forces businesses to pass it on to who? You. So good job believing that you're not going to pay 1 penny higher in taxes. You will. It's a lie. I guarantee it. This is why I predict in the next 2 years, we will have a 20% implosion in the stock market and a massive recession. You can print that on your wall, and I guarantee you it's going to happen. And we're going to print money as it happens. Hedge fund gross leverage hits all-time high as hedge funds furiously short tech. I got caught flat-footed, folks. I predicted this would happen. What did I say? That monster run-up in Amazon. I'm like, oh, man, look at this. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And I didn't buy puts or get bearish on it. That was my fault, but I predicted it. I didn't act on it, so that was dumb. This happens all the time. I'll do better about it next time. Buy the rumor of good blowout. Look at this. This is why retail investors and traders hate Wall Street. Somebody could have listened to the Amazon earnings call right here and said, oh my God, they made $830,000 a minute last quarter. I'm buying that stock. Slam. And you'd be furious. $3,500 stock down at $3,100 after reporting blowout earnings. But it's a Wall Streetism because it's a Wall Streetism. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I should have done a much better job at doing that. McDonald workers set to strike for higher wages ahead of shareholder meetings. What workers? You mean the ones that are going to be replaced with a kiosk, or the ones that they already have the technology, folks. They have like a perfect burger flipper. It measures the temperature, it slides underneath, it flips it, it rotates it, it makes the sandwich better than any human could. So enjoy your strike and your unemployment. But don't worry about it, because the Democrats will pay you to sit at home instead of going to get a job. Still taking a big hit on my Mind Medicine stock. I don't care. It's a long-term investment. It's saving lives. I'm trying to save lives with my charity, supporting the Warrior Health Foundation, or VETS. VETS stands for Vets Exploring Treatment Solutions. I am all over this stuff. When you got conservatives and liberals and Democrats and Republicans all supporting something, you know it's a good idea. So it passed the other day in Texas. Governor Abbott's going to sign it into law, and I think this is just great news on the psychedelic front. So MindMed ain't looking too good. I don't care. This is one of those names that'll be up like 100% in the blink of an eye on some good news of a phase 3 this or an acquisition of that. Getting hammered in Mara. Mara had earnings yesterday afternoon. Didn't tell anybody, and I think it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm trying to get out of this name as soon as I can. It's just an awful company, and yeah. And they didn't even have an earnings call. They didn't even announce when they were having earnings. They surprised the market yesterday, and their investor relations folks said, yeah, and we're not having an earnings call. You don't invest in names like that, guys. This was a bad move out of me. I'm paying for it. I'm trying to repair it, and then I'm out. I will not look at this type of stuff again. This was a bad trade out of Wiz following the crowd, and there you go. So perfect example. Don't do this. So, all right, guys, I got to get going. I'm actually heading down to the airport, go climb into my new jet, go through my ground procedures and my emergency procedures so I can start getting ready for my check ride next week, and looking forward to getting some folks flying, whether it's Top Gun Options members or Top Gun Fighter Foundation folks. I'm looking forward to putting a smile on your face and mine. That's a win-win when you can help people out and also put a smile on your face. So, all right, make sure you go register for the Full Throttle next week. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. Namaste.